All right, we are back.
Back in living color. It's exciting. Today's a very exciting podcast day
Why is today an exciting podcast day?
because you have big dreams of being a podcaster one day in your data nerd world. And so you bought microphones. Although you're making a bold decision that I'm noticing right now.
What's that?
You wanted to hold it versus clip it on yourself, which is fine. But if
Yeah.
you like move it around and stuff, it will screw up the audio. I'm an experienced podcaster.
Well, the difference is I'm wearing a t-shirt, so t-shirts don't lend themselves well to hanging, clipping things.
I would just be really careful
So-
what you do with it in terms of how close you put it to your mouth because you're.
I've been on way more
consistent.
podcasts than you have. So
Okay.
let's just say I'm more experienced.
So we have
Anyway.
fancy microphones. That's why it took us 2 weeks to come back.
That is not
Live
the
in
reason
living
why.
color because you wanted to use your microphones.
That is not the reason why at
I feel
all.
like it was. So
Nothing to do with that. Hello.
um,
We have a lot to cover. It's been 2 weeks.
it has been 2 weeks. 2 weeks and 1 day.
Yes.
Yeah. So
The
let's go
people
back.
have been waiting.
Let's go back in time.
So the last big update was we got the boys from camp. We haven't
didn't
talked.
do right.
We have not talked since we picked up the boys from camp
Right.
2 weeks ago,
Right.
which was July 6th.
Yes, we went up to a hotel with bed bugs.
You were very nervous about bed bugs.
Well, the most recent
Unfounded,
review,
yeah.
no, there still could be bed bugs in our house. We checked into a ghetto hotel that you got. I shouldn't use the word ghetto. It's not.
Was not
PC.
ghetto. Let's be honest what ghetto is versus what we're
It
seeing.
was not a great hotel, and it was very scary. And
What was
review,
scary about it?
it was off the beaten path. It was clearly a motel that people go to like do illegal activity. So we went there, and I always check reviews. So I was in the car right before we were about to park, and indeed the review said, "Hey, be really careful. I just found bed bugs in my room." And this was like the review was left the day before we got there. So I did strip the sheets. I didn't see anything. I held my breath, and we stayed there.
Yes.
It was not great.
I think we have to. I feel like this is my fault.
Guys,
though.
there were shutters. There were shutters in the room leading to a heart-shaped bathtub in the bathroom. So that is all you need to know.
It was considered a suite because it had like a
okay. The
had like a
people now
jacuzzi
know
tub
all they need to
in
know.
it.
They know all they need to know.
But it's up north. I would say it's up north fancy. Northern
They
Michigan
know
fancy.
all they need to know. Shutters to a jacuzzi
But
heart-shaped bathtub.
But remember when we at our
Oh, it was so
10-year
sweet.
anniversary, we stayed in Michigan City.
Yeah, and it was awful.
And it had
I
it was
know.
like a honeymoon suite. It had a bathtub.
It was awful.
Like in the middle of the room, darn near. It was like it was like a bathtub.
I can't hang in that life.
I think there's a culture of people who like jacuzzi bathtubs in their hotel rooms.
I love a good bathtub, but only in very fancy places where I ensure the cleanliness. So anyway, we stayed there. We picked up the boys. It was great. Aaron indeed did not get camper of the week again.
Yep.
So he is 9 times strong
Not
without it.
9,
Yes. I thought we did the math. A 7?
7.
7 times strong without
So the
receiving
streak
that award.
continues.
The streak
But he knows
continues.
that. But Joey
Right.
cleaned up. Joey won
Joey
all
did
the
clean
awards.
up,
He
yeah.
won back-to-back
Yeah.
TKO, came for the week, and he got some art
Yeah.
award too.
Yeah.
So Joey cleaned up.
John Paul dropped a tear or two when he hugged me when he saw me, and we hugged. It was good. I love seeing them. I loved Sunday night having everybody back in our space. However, the drive back home was horrific.
Drive back home. It took about 5 hours. What should
It
have
did
been
not. I hate
3.
that you say
no,
that. It
5
actually
hours.
is so triggering to me that you said. I heard you say 5 hours to
It was
someone,
like 5
and I
5.5
wanted to
hours.
punch you in the face. It was 6 hours at least. We left there. We left camp at about 10:45. We got to my parents. Yes, we did. See, I'm not okay. Great. It was 5 hours. It was way longer than 5 hours for the people. Just so you guys know, this is right
We left
up there
at
with
11.
Aaron's
I even
rush
have,
hour.
I have it on my phone. I have the exact time on my
Right.
phone because remember,
This is
maths like I can. Maths didn't start until 9:30, and it was an hour-long mass, and we had to pack them. So how would we get on the road at 10:30 if mass didn't start until
I didn't
9:30?
say 10 o'clock. I did not say 10 o'clock.
You said 10:30.
We got to my parents around 6 o'clock. We left at about 11. It's facts. I don't.
We saw, no,
it doesn't
anyway,
matter.
see,
Yeah,
the
I
people
know.
don't
I can
care.
see your face. Yeah.
Anyway,
So it took a
anyways.
really long time.
It took a long time. That was the moral of the story, Justice.
because of July 4th driving back down.
Correct.
Um,
Which we knew was going to happen.
right, and then we let the kids have a really lazy day on Monday, which was great. Tuesday we had people over, which was fun for the pool. I don't know. I feel like the week flew by. I don't even remember what we did the rest of the week.
We had to get them readjusted to being back at home.
Right. Yeah. So, and then got ready to go to the point, get to the point, Cedar Point. Do you remember the commercials that would say that? Get to the Point, Cedar Point.
Yes,
Okay.
I do remember that.
So I want to review for the people because I just want to make sure that you are clear on the history of
Oh
Cedar
wait,
Point.
we forgot.
What?
Your friend Eddie was in town
Oh,
that
yes.
Thursday.
That was Wednesday. Yes. So my friend Eddie, who I went to college with, I posted some pictures. It was funny because somebody was like, who are all those people that you post on Facebook? Like, I had two different groups of friends in college.
Because
They
you
were
were
like,
popular.
I'm so popular, I can't even handle it. We should talk about my popularity and the places that we visited.
I was
so
going
far.
to mention that.
Yeah, we can get there.
I will foreshadow. Mary is one of the most popular. Everywhere we go around the country,
Right.
she sees people. So if you remember, we went to New York City
Right.
over Easter, and she just saw someone randomly on like
It's true.
Fifth Avenue
Yeah.
that she knew. And the same thing happened. So foreshadowing, Mary yet again sees someone she knows out of state of all places.
That's a foreshadow.
Randomly. So
I know.
Let's go back to college.
I know. So I wish I could go back to college. So I had two different groups of friends in college. One were like my girlfriends and like probably my main core, and then I had these two guys that I hung out with all the time, Jay and Eddie. So like the three of us, really good friends. Just so you know, one time boys were not allowed in girls' dorms and girls were not allowed in boys' dorms. And when
in
they
the
were
early 2000s,
right, at the Catholic college.
At a,
But when I was a freshman, we snuck my friend in Paul to our dorm room overnight.
Oh, that's risque.
And I know. And one night I slept in Jay and Eddie's room. They snuck me into their room.
Remember, these are platonic friends.
These
nothing
are totally
romantic,
platonic.
Nothing
we are
romantic.
not. It's
you were
not
scandalizing
like,
people.
No,
You say
this
you're
is
sneaking
totally,
them into
but
rooms.
I will say,
this is platonic.
We had a different level.
They like girls. They just didn't like you.
Right. Oh, that's so mean. Oh man, remember I'm everybody's best friend.
Yes.
So I will say that one thing that I will say is that this is not going to seem like a big deal to our listeners who went to secular normal colleges, but to like
we had co-ed dorms.
We did this to like be rebels. That was the only reason that I snuck into their room and stayed the night in their dorm room. But they're two very good friends of mine, like really good. And Ed and I have done ministry together. We've been friends for years and years. He moved to Texas. We don't really see each other a lot, maybe once every 2 or 3 years. We got to meet his whole family, so his whole family was brought up.
His wife and 4 daughters.
His wife and 4 daughters. And we had like a barbecue with my parents and then my friend Jay's parents. So these are people I've been friends with. The Jackets, which is one set of... I mean, I've been friends with them since I was a little girl. So it's a really beautiful thing. I told you my bucket was so full at the end of that night. Probably my favorite moment was sitting around Jay's like really big dining room table and we were telling stories about our early 20s. And I just looked at Aaron and Joey, who now are old enough to sit when the grown folk talk. And they're like cracking up at the stories we're telling. Like, yeah. And I mean, we were dying laughing. We used to go to a bar that some of our listeners would know, the old Shillelagh. And we were talking about some of our old Shillelagh days.
It's still there, the bar.
Yeah, but
there.
Apparently no. Someone said it's super lame now.
Yeah, it's different now.
Yeah, when we used to go, we would get pitchers of beer and they would bring out glass mugs and some of you will remember this. I'm sure it wasn't like allowed or encouraged, but you know, there'd be an Irish band playing and we'd smash our glasses and glasses would be everywhere. We just drink copious amounts of alcohol. Not alcohol, beer, which is, it's different. It's like a different type of environment.
Beer is alcohol.
There was one, just such good times. So the kids were cracking up and laughing, and I was really full by it. You were, of course, a Debbie Downer and made us leave early.
Yes, because I have to work. Of all the folks there, let me think
all
out loud.
Teachers, right?
No, Mike was there. There was 2 of us, including myself, who had to go to work the next day.
Right.
So when 9 o'clock rolls around, I'm realizing I have to go to work.
Yeah, but bro,
tomorrow.
when I was like, "Can we stay till 9:15?" and you acted like I was asking you to like self-sacrifice your life.
But I wish what I love about introspection is I wish you would recognize that anytime I have like. If the situation was reversed, if I would ask you after you got off work to go to someone's house,
take the kids.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. You would not go in a million years.
Yeah, no.
And you would throw up a frumpy face. Like even when I have family over, you may sometimes go upstairs and hang out.
Fake news.
Okay, anyway.
But
no, I wasn't frumpy. It was 9 o'clock. It's like, it's time to go.
But it was so fun. It was so fun. I really enjoyed it. It really felt like going back in time. So. Yeah, good times. And then we'll keep it going. Talk about other things that we did this week. So, quickly, I'm sorry, we paused for a second.
Mary had to take a bathroom break.
I did have to take a bathroom break. Hashtag coffee in the morning. Okay, so that was that. College trip was great. Totally bucket filling.
Yep.
And then
Friday was packing.
Yep, packing, getting ready to go to Cedar Point. We went to Cedar Point.
I think we got into a fight. Did we get in a fight Friday? We got into 2 fights in the past 2 weeks.
Oh, we got in a really big fight Friday. I'm surprised you want to
Was that
reflect on
Friday?
Yes, I'm surprised you want to go there.
No, that was the second fight. The first one was like Wednesday or Tuesday.
I don't remember.
The money fight. We had a money fight,
That's
and
what I'm
then
talking about. I don't remember.
no, because we got in the fight when we were on the walk, and me leaving out of town. That was Friday. We went for a walk. That's where we left.
Yeah, I don't remember what that fight was about. Do you?
I was going out of town, and I.
Oh, I do remember. Yeah, let's talk about both fights briefly. So the first fight was actually quite serious, and it ended up being a high level of conflict. And you know, it's funny because I didn't want to talk to you about it in front of the kids because I know myself and I do go off and I did go off and I use bad words and it's really gross. But the kids got to see the whole process of our fight, including our makeup, which I thought was really good. We ended in a good place, but we were discussing our finances.
Yeah.
You have a lot of our financial reality in your head. There's a lot of moving pieces, I want to acknowledge. We have so many moving pieces, so many budget lines.
Yes.
We have like several different givings. I have my giving account, you do your giving. We have like all these buckets. And so I was confused about a huge chunk of money. And I think you would say that you didn't clearly articulate where that chunk of money was going.
Sure.
And I came from a place of distrust when it came to that. So I felt really out of control and used words like you're lying and things like that versus this is a misunderstanding. Right?
Yes.
And so it ended up being a significant moment. Do you have anything else to add about that?
No.
Okay. But we did get over it.
Yeah, we got past it.
We got past it. It is hard though, because one of the things that I recognized in it, which I think is interesting for all the listeners, is we're so busy that a lot of times like our financial conversations are like quick texts, or you'll be at work and I'll be like, hey, do we have money for this? And you're like, yeah. And then I'm like, I got to borrow 3 weeks in advance against this. And it's really confusing for you to keep track of.
It's a lot to keep track of.
Yeah, it is a lot to keep track of. And I think that was the fruit of this particular conflict. One, I think you would acknowledge that more clarity is probably needed in some of these things, or simplicity in the spreadsheets and things like that. But then I would acknowledge that it's actually not fair for me to like expect you to quickly answer financial questions and like that there's a lot going on with our finances.
Well, I think sometimes your memory could be spotty, and sometimes you may recall something differently than I recall it.
Yeah.
But then I don't have any
right
evidence to say the contrary. But sometimes I'll be proven to be right. But sometimes memory, like we shouldn't just focus solely on memory could be challenging.
Yes.
So how to make things simpler to communicate.
Right.
But I use the analogy of like Cane's versus Cheesecake Factory. If you go to Raising Cane's,
yeah,
they have like 4 things on the menu: chicken, fries, toast, and coleslaw.
Yeah.
But if you go to Cheesecake Factory, they have hundreds of items, which have hundreds of ingredients.
Right.
Our lifestyle and our budget is much more like Cheesecake Factory. Like we have a lot of like giving and retirement. Even when giving, there's different breakouts and the kids' activities and birthdays, and we have all these call outs. Oh, like we go to Michigan Wolverine games. We have to set aside money for that. We have the tuition for the school. We want to go to a Lions game. All these different things, and you like to call out like, oh, we have all these different. Oh, we budget for that. We budget for that. But that's not magic. Like these are all line items.
Right.
So it's a lot of work to keep tabs and track of all these different things.
And then income's dropping and raising. And
and then you took a pay cut, and then things with the van, things unexpected. So it's always maneuvering, trying to manage things. And then sometimes you do ask me like questions, and I may give you like a flippant answer, but then you'll remember that, and I'll be like, oh, that wasn't like a real answer. That was me like making up stuff. You're like, well, you said this, like, yeah, but that's not what I meant. But then that's like then it spirals into a big sea of just confusion. So I know, hey, we have to figure out how to make it more clear, and I just won't I won't answer those. I'll wait to answer. I won't give you like a short answer that I'm like, I don't care. Yeah. I'll wait and then give you a real answer. Like, you know what? I don't know, but I'll get back to you on that one. Versus just like, oh, I'll give you an answer. Oh, that was just a made up answer. But to you, that could be seen as like distrust. But me, I was like, oh, I was just kind of throwing out numbers. But I think you took it as more hard number. I was like, oh, that's my bad.
Well, because it wasn't $20. But I also think that a big thing that I would like to say is that it's like another lesson in marriage, because I came at you with that from a place of distrust. I don't know why I do that with you. Like there is nothing that is like I come at it like you're my enemy and you're trying to hide things from me, and that's insane. I don't know why I do that, like fundamentally. And so like instead of being like assuming that there was a misunderstanding. The assumption is that you're trying to play games with money, and you don't do that. So it was a good point of reflection for me. I don't like the idea. I think I've worked on that tremendously throughout the last 15 years of our marriage. So like we're on a team and trust, but it is interesting. There's still pockets of like how do we expand the trust that we have in each other as two become one, right? And like really like you're the other half of me, all pursuing the good for our family. So there is no like you versus me when it comes to our finances. So, but it is hard because as we reflect when we talk about finances with other people, I am the spender, you are the saver, and so there is a
Yeah, you
natural
come
point
in
of
at a
tension.
place of, can I buy this? Can I buy this?
Right.
And sometimes you would admit when I say no, we can't. You do get frustrated. It's like, well, we
Well,
make
that's
this
what was the
much.
start of this
We
is that
can't.
I
We make
needed
this
an
much. We should afford. It's
right,
like, no, no. You like you forget that we do afford all these other things. Like
right,
we're about to go. Like we're going on all these trips. So that's why we have to say no to many things. I would love to say yes to everything, but that means that we have to say no to other things. Like
right,
there's a healthy
right,
balance of that.
right,
So, but I think sometimes you get frustrated, and you're like, well, no, you can't. Why can't I have that? Why can't we afford that? It's
right.
like
Yeah.
because we use it other places.
Right.
That's why.
And then our second point of conflict, which it might just be too raw to talk about because if you try to push me on it, we're going to end up right back where the fight that we were. But there's a very busy week in September that you would like to go. You'd like to opt into a work thing.
Well, we didn't know if it was going to be a busy week. We still have not
No,
confirmed
I
that.
did confirm it. But yeah, so I had said to you, like, hey, if it's a busy week, I think I'd actually, and it is going to be a busy week, and you are going to go and it's going to be fine. But I had said it's a busy week if it's an opt in. And by a busy week, what I mean is I'm starting a new job as a teacher, which is going to be an interesting learning curve. And then that particular week, I still have to I have to wear my campus ministry hat. So I also have 3 different retreats, one of them all day on Saturday happening in my old job. And so we have all these kids. You're going to Disney with our daughter. Anyway, I was like, if it's this busy week, I'd prefer that you opt out of this work trip that you want to do but don't have to do. And in that, I was like, we were talking about it, and then I referenced the fact that you're going to Boston this week for a conference, and then you're going with your friends in August. So I'm like, if you don't actually have to go, I'd rather you not go because you're going a couple times, and that really triggered you.
Well, to me it seemed like one. I think if the argument, like, I think it's, to me, there are two different arguments. If you're saying, hey, that's a very busy week, and if you don't have to me, oh, shoot. Sorry, I pressed the button. I guess I pressed the button. My point was, if the argument was, I'm very busy that week, it's a very busy week, if you don't have to go, don't go. Boom. To me, that's fine. But I find that sometimes my perspective is, I feel statements. I feel like sometimes other things are slid in that has nothing to do with it, and that's what it's like. That has nothing to do with it. Like that's a separate thing, and like that's more like a like little small like zingers and dinkers. Maybe that's not your intent. Maybe you didn't intend it that way. Maybe you feel like it's all it's the same argument. That's fine. But I take them as two separate arguments. And if you just said, hey, I'm very busy that week, let's look at it. Boom, you're absolutely right.
And
But
I
it's
saw it as both. I'm like, yeah, it's a busy week, and you're already going out a couple times in these like next couple months. So if you don't have to, don't. And you were very upset that I brought up the second
because I think that had nothing
and
to.
then I do think it had something to do with it. So then it ended up being
Because one's like the.
well, we just feel
So I'm
differently.
leaving
We're
today.
allowed to feel
That's a
differently.
work. To me, it's
An
a work.
optional work
It's
thing.
a work related. Yeah, but
Right.
everything like it's all optional. Like,
No,
unless
I
someone
think
puts a gun
sometimes
to
it's
your
like
head.
no. Like I think that the trip that you were talking about in September, it's like to go check out a facility. You can opt into it. It actually has nothing to do with your actual job. Like your conference this week, is like it's good to build your career, but it's not to do with whether or not you're going to get coins. There's other work trips,
But like the
and
work.
you'll remember there's other work trips where it's like we have business meetings. I need to be there, things like that. That's not what any of this has been.
But the one in
Yeah.
September, like the main thing's optional. Like
Yeah.
your retreats, like technically that's not your job
Oh, come
anymore.
on, honey. Okay.
But that's not
Like
technically
I
that's not
said,
your
it might
job
be
anymore. But
the
that.
bottom line is, though, I think we got somewhere. The bottom line is that you're saying that you didn't appreciate me also bringing up that you're taking other trips. I felt like they went hand in hand.
But I feel like those were like subtle like jabs.
And they weren't. It's just agree to disagree. I
Agree
think
to
that had
disagree.
to do with the content of deciding whether or not to go on this trip. I think it was fair to bring up those other 2 trips. You didn't feel like it was.
But that would mean that I've done enough trips, so I don't need to do another trip. Because you feel I've done trips already.
I
So
think that was part of the decision making that I was talking about within these 3 months. So yeah, we
Okay.
actually ultimately feel differently about it.
I
and
think
we
they have
know
one
that.
nothing to do with the other
I know
one.
you don't, and I do. So then, and we're good with that one.
Yeah.
You're gonna go, and I'm gonna figure it out. So it's fine.
Well, we'll see though. I mean, we'll have to see. I don't know the dates. It was a
You do
hypothetical.
know the dates.
No, I don't. I said we'll have to see. It was a we'll see.
Okay.
I didn't even say the dates. 'Cause I don't know the dates. I said it could be these dates. Could be's.
Okay.
Not firm.
Okay.
Um.
So then we packed to
Anyways.
go to Cedar Point. We did Pizza Friday on Friday. Watched the new Zombies movie, which was stupid. So
You hate those
I
things.
hate all.
You
the
hate
things.
children's.
I hate joy. We'll get into that.
You
this
yeah, you
weekend.
don't have
Yeah.
like a childlike heart when it
I
comes
do.
to.
No, maybe
No,
I
you don't. You hate
Maybe I
all the
think I
kids
do, but I don't.
movies,
Yeah,
all
I
the
hate all
kids
kids movies.
movies.
Yeah,
You hate them all.
we do. So we got in
Oh.
the car. We are not going to talk about the fight on the way to Cedar Point. That is too raw for me. So we're not.
What was the
Doing
fight on the way to Cedar
it.
Point?
We're not discussing it.
No, we have to
No,
go
we're not
there. Oh
discussing
my
it.
god,
So
that wasn't even a fight.
I don't
Oh,
want
that
to
wasn't
discuss
even
it.
a.
I actually don't want to discuss
That
it.
wasn't a fight.
We have to be able to.
No,
have
we
a
have
safe
to.
word.
No, we no.
We have
We have to go there.
Anyways, we got up very early in the morning to go to Cedar Point. I actually don't.
But that wasn't even a fight. I wasn't upset. That wasn't a fight. I wasn't yelling.
Great. So we.
You were just being a fuddy duddy.
Great. So we drove to Cedar Point.
It was Joey's birthday.
Yes. Great.
Joey's birthday. So Joey's birthday was Saturday the 12th.
This, but you're gonna bring it up. I'm really trying to like not get upset at your.
You consider that was a fight?
I was upset about some of that stuff. So.
But can we walk through why you were upset?
No, I don't want to on the podcast right now. Maybe in 2 weeks we can. Anyway, so let's go back up. Let's back the train up.
Yeah.
I want to be very clear, and I hope you remember this correctly and don't try to fight me on this. I actually didn't want to go to Cedar Point for the kids' birthdays. What I said to you for Joey's birthday, he turned 13. I said to you, why don't you just take the boys? Like, you like it, you should go with the boys. And you're like, no, this should be a family trip, which I totally remember. Right. So then the way I got myself into like, okay, we can do this and I'll enjoy it, is I was like, great, we'll do the water park on Saturday. And in the afternoon, I'll go sit on Lake Erie and do what I love to do, which is read on the lake.
Which happened?
We'll talk about that in a minute. Read on the lake and like enjoy it. And so I like that is not my vibe, Cedar Point. Not anymore. Remember, I did 15 years of Cedar Point trips.
Well, can we split between the two? So there was 2 days. So there was Saturday, Joey's birthday, and there was Sunday, which was yesterday. So we're recording this on Monday. There was Saturday the 12th, his birthday. There was Sunday the 13th. Mm-hmm. So there's the water park. So Saturday was the water park. Yep. Sunday was actual like Cedar Point with roller coasters. Yeah. So you're referring to as Saturday was water park the full day. Right. And then you were going to leave the water park for part of it and go to the beach.
And I was like, the kids can enjoy the water park. I'll go sit on the beach. Like they're old enough to come in and out of the water park. It'll be great. So what ended up happening was the water park we had early entry into, which was awesome. The first hour, freaking magical. There's a gazillion slides there. It's massive.
Yeah, they have a lot of.
We didn't even touch half the water park.
We usually go to Great with Flies. This was like twice or 3 times many as Great with Flies. Oh my gosh,
yeah! In one of the kids sections alone, there was like 9 slides. Huge wave pool. I mean, 2 lazy rivers, and it was so massive, so freaking fun. I stayed with the littles because I don't really do any thrill rides anymore. I used to them all.
Well, John Paul and Julia,
yeah. And they just did slides. It was fine. It was like the first hour was magical. You did really big slides, including one of the ones where you stand.
The drop slide.
You had never done that before.
No.
And you're just sitting there waiting for the floor to fall out from it.
Yeah, you question your sanity. You're like, why am I doing this? You're just standing there, knowing that the floor is going to drop below you, and you just like fall down this tube.
And you don't know when the floor is going to.
No, you can hear it. So when you're in there, the countdown goes 3, 2, 1, and then it drops below you. You just drop down.
Do you plug your nose?
No.
Oh my gosh.
And you question it, but it's only like 3 seconds of
but still.
But it's fine.
Yeah.
You're glad you did after the fact, but you are questioning your sanity. You're like, why am I doing this?
So you and Aaron are definitely our 3 thrill seekers. So you did some slides with the kids. It was good, and then the general park admission opened. And the floods of people coming into that.
It was very hot. It was like 90s
it was so hot.
Both days.
And I am telling you, the crowds, it was like, we talked about our cruise last year. I'll talk about our cruise again in the future. But the cruise pools, I would only use in the first hour of the day. Because I don't understand being in a pool where you can't move without touching someone. That's disgusting. The wave pool.
The wave pool.
I mean...
I think wave pools are dumb.
People just kept coming in, and then the lines for the slides were like an hour and a half, 2 hours. Like the big
which
slides.
are normal which are normal going on slides and stuff like that.
Totally, but so like it's 11:30, and so we got into the park at 10. It's 11:30, and it's so busy.
We got in at 10:30.
At 10:30, maybe then it was 12. No,
I think it was like 12 or no, it was like 12 or 12:30.
Okay, we all looked at ourselves and we're like, we're gonna leave. Like there were just so many people. So now my fantasy of I'll sit on Lake Erie while the kids play at the water park, that's shot because the kids also on a 97-degree day don't want to wait an hour and a half for a 3-second ride. Like it was so busy, you guys. Oh, so for instance,
and they kept walking in like
It
Because when
wouldn't stop.
because funny, because when you're standing in line to get on the slide, you're very high.
Yeah.
So you look down the entrance, you see like this huge line of people like
And you're like, it's already busy.
steadily walking
So, like,
in.
for instance, the lazy rivers, like if you've been to a Great Wolf Lodge or something like that, a lazy river, you just go on, like it just continues. Like they shut down the lazy river, and it was like when one person would get out, another person could go in. So there's like a line for the lazy river. I'm like, get me out of. And then the one pool they had 7 million people in it. So thank God everybody was kind of like, let's go. And then of course, because this was the theme of the trip, our Joseph was like, let's go to Canes. So let's all get in the car in soaking wet bathing suits. Now, I do think there's a difference fundamentally in a boy or a little girl in a soaking wet bathing suit. For girls that wear like undergarments, hashtag bras, like me sitting in a soaking wet bathing suit and going to a restaurant is like insanity. We didn't have a hotel room to change it to. So I'm going to Canes in my like, it was just,
So
I'm changing
you
in Canes
wanted
bathroom.
to
I don't want it to, the whole thing.
you wanted to eat. So at the water park, they had
They
food
had
there.
like, so I'm like, let's just grab food here, like at the water park while we dry off. No, we had to get in the van and drive 20 minutes
So you
to
had to
this.
drive, we had to leave Cedar Point.
So I'm in this sticky, gross suit. I'm literally, you guys, I'm changing in the Canes bathroom. Like, and the bathroom was disgusting because the girls, the whole trip was like this, though, guys. You didn't know this. The female bathroom.
Can we go there, Cass? Can we talk about that?
Bathroom,
Can we
the
talk about female bathrooms?
Shut down. It's shut down. You can't go into the. It's out of order. So now I'm in this gross like stall that hasn't obviously been cleaned in like 3 years. Oh, I wanted to talk about the bathrooms.
Can we talk
I
about?
didn't tell you about some of the bathrooms.
Can we talk about female bathrooms in general? I feel like female bathrooms. I've never been to one.
Filthy. They're
I've heard that
disgusting.
female bathrooms in
Yes.
general. I even heard from like people who clean them. They
Yes,
said
anybody-
girls' bathrooms are way far worse than boys' bathrooms.
Anybody I know who's ever worked operations has said, give me a boys' bathroom any day, twice on Sundays. Disgusting. So anyways, I'm changing. And like you guys know, maybe it's too much. I don't know who all listens to this, but like when you're
Primarily women.
When you're somewhat wet and you got to try to get your bra on and it's like, the whole thing was like, so we eat Canes. Yay. You're like, I'm so glad we did that.
I was. It's very like Canes is really good.
Now it's 7 million
And I felt
degrees
we felt
out.
very good
We
after
get back
eating.
into the car. Of course, our hotel room isn't ready. So now we're like, okay, we're gonna set up. Now it's like 2:30. We're gonna.
Yeah, it was yeah, we got back around like 2. The hotel was ready like in a half hour because we had like set up. I had to go.
I know. I'm about to explain that.
Yeah.
So we get set up on the beach. You put our umbrella out, our chairs. We put out our beach blanket. Like it takes a second. Moms know to get set up on the beach. 30 seconds into sitting down, our umbrella goes flying across the sand because it's windy. So now we know we can't leave the umbrella. We put it down, sitting there. And then Aaron says, well, I got to text our hotel room's ready. So Aaron's like, I'm going to go up to the hotel room. Now, meanwhile, I can tell storms are rolling in. Like, you can tell. And I'm like, oh, it looks like it's going to start to, like, rain.
Yeah.
And I said to you, I was like, it's really going to suck if you go up to the room and then it's like a thunderstorm and we have to, and we're like, well, we'll risk it. So you go to get the room. 20 minutes later, it starts pouring, which I don't care about pouring. I had sealed everything, but then there's thunder and lightning. So we actually can't.
It passed.
leave.
The rain passed. It rained for like 10 minutes,
It
15 minutes. The rain passed through and it stopped. You went back. We all went back out
So
there.
anyway, I pack up as much as I can. We're like in trash bags. I look like a homeless person. We finally get up to the hotel room. You like are moseying out. Like you're like, hey, what's up, guys? Meanwhile,
I was getting all the luggage.
I've gone
That's
across
not true.
the beach with like all of this stuff. We have everything.
No, I was
has
getting.
sand
I had to
in
make
it.
multiple
Okay.
trips to the van to get
Everything has
luggage.
sand in it. We're trying to get up to our hotel room. Finally get up to the hotel room.
But that's your beach dream, though.
No,
Let's
stop.
pause, though.
No.
You love beaches. You
Listen.
love going to beaches. So this is what happens when you love to go to beaches.
Stop.
It
The
rains.
Unpacking. And
Sand
the
is part of your life.
It's worth it if you're there for like 3 hours. We were there for like 7 minutes. So we get into the hotel room. I've left the beach umbrella on the beach because I couldn't carry that and everything else. The beach umbrella, which by the way we couldn't use because of the wind. So we hang out in the hotel room for like an hour while you go to get the beach umbrella with Joey.
We walked the boardwalk. So he wanted to stay in the room. So he and I like walked up and down the boardwalk, and then we grabbed the umbrella on the way back
And guys, I need
to
you
the
to picture
room.
this. Like we're in the hotel room now. The kids there's sand everywhere. So now I'm throwing them in the bathtubs to rinse off all the sand.
Can I say this is why
No,
like you
stop.
love beaches and I don't?
This
Like
is not a typical beach experience.
yes, the beaches always have sand, and the
So
sand is always a
anyway-
mess in vans.
Oh, and because it was raining, never mind. That's too much detail. So anyway, you come back up at about 5. We decorated the hotel room for Joey. Joey is so mellow, so he doesn't act like he likes any of it. Like I put up decorations. He's like, eh. Like there's no like, yay, like, eh. The story's becoming so long, but I need to know why it wasn't a great weekend for me. So then,
I think your childlike spirit is dying,
You chill in the hotel
slowly
room.
dying.
The kids want to go back to the water park. I'm like, okay, guys, I'll take you back to the water park for like an hour and a half. We go again. It's like blistering hot. I figure dinner time, 5:00. It's gonna empty out. Nope, 17 gazillion people. Like zero fun. Like so many people can't even get a chair. By the way, I think I did leave my Carhartt hat at the water park, which I'm gonna actually cry about. You're gonna have to give me another one. You're not gonna be pleased. So, anyways, like just it was awful. It was awful. We get back to the hotel room. Joey wants to go to the Olive Garden, which is on both of our lists.
Yes.
So we get everybody ready to go to the Olive Garden.
Which we've never taken any of the kids to Olive Garden ever.
No. And we waited.
No, actually no. They were like babies. Last time we went to Olive Garden, they were like 1 year. It was like 1 year old, and like Aaron was very young, very
and
very young.
The food is fine. It was fine. The kids liked the food. I think. It took forever. What time did we leave? I remember looking at my clock. I think
it was like 8:45.
It was like 8:45. I'm like, what are we still doing at this restaurant?
It took them a while to bring everything
it was
out.
Awful. And so then we get back to the hotel. I of course can't sleep. Hashtag perimenopause. So I never sleep anymore. That's another new part of my life. You guys all fall asleep. The best part of the trip is after not sleeping. So I think I slept 3 hours and 45 minutes. My alarm goes off at 5:00 because I told John Paul I would wake him up to see the sunrise. The alarm goes off. I don't want to. I'm tired. I haven't slept. I skeeved out by our hotel. Again, another what is it called? Review of bed bugs. So I'm like, there's probably bed bugs in here, literally biting me. I'm sure I brought bed bugs home. Just so you guys know.
No bed bugs.
John Paul and I got to watch the sunrise. I got to have a Starbucks. We got to sit in beach chairs. The sunrise. It was beautiful. Like it filled my soul. Filled my soul. You came out for the end. Right. Then we went to Mass. And this is like the story of the entire weekend. We go to Mass at 8:00 and we want to sit in the back
Sandusky.
row. Yes, in Sandusky, because we have no Mass clothes. My kids are in like Cedar Point clothes. The girls have shorts that show a little bit, or shirts that show a little bit of their belly. The boys are in, Crocs and like
sleeveless shirts.
Like, I'm a hot mess. You actually look good. You wore a collared shirt. So I say so many times to the kids and to my husband, when we get to church, we're sitting in the back row. To the point where when I said it the final time, you're like, okay, do you have early onset Alzheimer's? Like, you've said this. We know we're sitting in the back row. We walk into the church, greeted by the priest who's about to go down the row, and usher says, don't worry, I have a seat for you. Literally parades us in a old-fashioned church. Like, picture it like the altar. This is like a beautiful church. Parades us in front of the entire congregation. Every seat is filled to the front row of the church.
The very front
Not
row.
the second row, not the third row. We are sitting in the front row of the church in Cedar Point gear. By the way, we had also planned on leaving right after we received or right after the final blessing, which now we can't do because we're in the front row of the church. We still ended up leaving when the song started.
Yeah.
Mass was lovely.
It's a cute church, and this, yeah, we do that a lot.
Do you think people are bored listening to the podcast? Like, is this boring for people? Is
No.
this too much detail?
I think that they're given a true appreciation of your just fuddy-duddiness and your loss of childlike wonder and joy.
So then we go to the hotel.
Because I think you present this thing as I'm like this grumpy Shrek, and now you're showing yourself. You are showing your true colors.
Like, yeah. So then
even the kids were like, it was 2 days of mom's Shrekiness.
I kept trying to choose a positive attitude. So then we go to Cedar Point. It is 7 gazillion degrees. One thing that I don't think you fully understand. And by the way, so I have to wear sunscreen because I am fair skinned.
No, you're rice skinned.
Rice skinned. So like I have to reapply sunscreen every 2 hours in the beating sun, which then gets sticky with sweat. Like I was disgusting all day. I couldn't use our shower at the hotel because it was full of sand. Like the whole thing was like whatever. We get to Cedar Point, and I hope you hear this, Aaron. I think you will hear this.
What?
Maybe. If you don't, it's gonna hurt my feelings. We had gotten 3 fast passes for you, for little Aaron, and for Joey.
Yes.
The fast passes were way more money.
Correct.
Like how much more money? 130 was at almost 200.
No, it wasn't 200.
Okay. It was like way more money though for you to be able to walk on rides.
Right. Which Aaron had already been to Cedar Point through 8th grade. Joey had never been to Cedar Point, so I think we'll get to Joey. His bark was larger than his bite.
So about an hour in, we realized Joey's not riding any rides. He's scared.
I think the reality hit.
Right.
After he did the first one, Maverick, I think he was like, yeah, this is too much. I respect that. we didn't consider that he had never been to Cedar Point.
He had only been on Disney roller coasters.
Correct. So I don't think you realize, because Cedar Point is like world class. People who've never been there don't know, like, it's like, it's legit.
These are like legit rides.
These are legit roller coasters.
And he really did not like the Maverick, and he's like, I don't want to do anymore. But he didn't admit it at first, so then he's like, maybe I'll do this, maybe I'll do this. So we're walking around this sweltering park, and I would say the difference between you and I, if you would say this, but you might not, is when we did divide and conquer, or even when we didn't divide and conquer. Like now in 2025, kids can't just like sit in a seat and buckle their seatbelt. The one attendant has to check every single seatbelt, has to unbuckle every single seatbelt. So every ride takes 25 minutes. Safety to get kids in and out of rides. So literally for 10 hours, I'm just standing in the sweltering heat. Like at least you got rides. The one or two rides
ride with the kids'
about to say, the one or two, we did the Iron Dragon, which I'm sitting next to my kid, who did not want to ride a roller coaster and was crying the entire time. So it's like Tron.
I rode the Blue Streak with him too, though.
Right? Did he cry?
He was close to it.
So imagine,
he was like, "Can you hold my hand?
Can
you hold my hand?"
The one ride that I rode the entire day, I was sitting next to a crying kid. The rest of the time, I'm literally just in the beating sun, like just standing there as our kids get strapped into like dumb A rides. Like dumb A rides. The food was disgusting, inedible. Everybody kept saying they felt sick because it was like hot and thirsty. You ended up feeling sick after you rode the Raptor because it's a horrible ride.
Yeah, that took me out for about an hour.
It like shakes your insides.
I was laid out for about.
It's like, and he was at
if
one
we had
point.
a hotel, I would have went back to sleep.
Yeah, at one point, Aaron literally was laid out. Like he's laying down on the. It was the grass or the concrete.
It was both.
Like,
that took me out.
So he's sick, and it's just hot and gross. And there's no satisfaction. Like you're waiting in these crazy rides. I'm talking like imagine a carnival ride where the little kid sits in a car and goes around a circle once. Like that's all I did all day long with the little ones. And I mean, it was not fun. And so at about noon, I told the kids, like, don't tell Dad, but this is the worst day of my life. Like, there's nothing about this of me. And I kept trying to hold it in, but finally I told you, we were walking again, and you're walking so much in the sweltering heat.
Well, I think the challenge is like, yeah, if you have two groups, you have one group that can ride. But our parents did that. Like I know. Like when we had my younger brother, like my mother took him over to like Snoopy Land while my dad and my brother and I would ride sometimes. So they split.
Land, like I had planned on taking the kids to Snoopy Land and then going to the hotel pool because we were allowed to use the hotel pool, so I'd packed a swim bag. But there's not one Snoopy Land. There's like 17.
They have more kids rides now, I know, so that's the difference. But I think it's a good thing.
Every kid ride takes 25 minutes.
They have a lot more. So I feel like I felt nervous because I thought the kids weren't going to ride much.
Tons for the kids.
But they have a lot more. How dare they? How dare they have all these rides for the kids and activities?
I appreciate that you acknowledge though that like literally I did nothing all day and I was a little frustrated. Like if I did have a fast pass, I probably would have ridden some of those rides with you. And you offered to stand with me in line.
You said you didn't want to ride anything. Remember?
I wasn't going to, but then once it became clear, but how would we have ridden together? I'm not blaming anything on you.
Yeah, you said you don't ride. You were like, I'm out of that phase where I want to ride stuff.
But I probably would have ridden some rides with you, but I couldn't ride any rides because
we could have stood in line.
Yeah, we could have stood in line for 2 hours to ride like a.
Oh, the lines weren't that bad.
Really?
No, they weren't that bad.
So anyway, we're finally ready to leave, and of course we're at the front of the park. Now we have to walk 1.5 miles. I yelled at Aaron. I didn't yell at Aaron. I said to Aaron I didn't want to stop for a drink because it made our path longer, and you were not pleased with that. The bathrooms. Oh my gosh! At one point, guys, we walk into the bathrooms. You don't know the stuff I go through, and half the stalls are fine, but then the other half of the stalls, and they're all like busy. So I go to the other half of the stalls. I look up, and the ceiling has hundreds of spiders. Like any of them can drop down on my head at any point. So then I'm like, holy crap, I'm like puking as I'm trying to like pee quickly and like again change because I'm soaked in sweat and like gross. We got in the car and we drove home and I could not wait to get home and get in the shower. And I will never go to Cedar Point.
So I think that's the moral of the story. Or we're gonna wait until
never.
The problem was Julia, she was too small. She couldn't ride. The things we tried to ride together, she couldn't ride a couple of things.
She was scared of that too, like the Iron Dragon and it was just.
She couldn't ride some of the stuff.
And honestly,
I think like in 2 years, maybe we'll try in 2 years.
Well, and then poor Joey. I will say this, and you said this. We gave Joey a choice to go to Cedar Point or to rent our community pool, where we would rent it out for 2 hours and have all his friends. So Joey's like, I really should have chose the other one because Joey didn't have a great time either. He realized he didn't want to ride rides. He was a little embarrassed because his older brother's like, "Why don't you want to ride rides?" He kept saying thank you, but it was not a great trip.
Well, they got drinks every 15 minutes, so they did drink a lot of beverages.
Yes, that's true.
So they got a lot of Coke and Fanta and Powerade,
It's so dumb.
Blue Powerade.
Goodbye, Cedar Point.
But it was a good
No,
experience
thank you.
to take them.
I think it would be really fun, Cedar Point, if we had kids that all rode roller coasters and we were riding roller coasters.
Well, I think the problem is you have to go off, like, it's a lot for younger kids, so I think you have to have a cadence of going often,
Yeah.
so the kids know what to expect. So I think the next time they know that it's going to be larger, and I think if we try it again, like in 2 years, because
Okay.
Julie will be
You're going on a road trip by yourself with
Julie will be
Julia.
older.
No.
I think it's something that is hard because like you have to go there a couple times. Because remember in the past, like Cedar Point was our vacation. We didn't really.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. And it's
You're
not
so
nice
used.
when people are gonna judge
You have
me,
spoiled
but
yourself.
Joey did say, Joey's like, "Mom, this is so much worse than Disney World." Like, yeah, like we have a different line here. So because
their version of roller coaster is like Thunder Mountain, where you just kind of go in a circle in this little train,
and there's like
or like
Disney, the
Splash
characters
Mountain, where it's like
singing songs
ooh a
to
drop,
them.
ooh a little drop.
It's true. Yeah, that's actually part of it. Like that.
They're
is
not
true.
used to like
Even the roller coasters are like at Disney, or like the Mine Ride, where like Snow White singing as you go through. Like this was not. It was not fun, and it was gross. And
or
like,
Universal, it's all like simulators, and you like bounce up and down.
So thank
So
God.
Cedar Point is like
Yeah,
all that
this
on
is
steroids.
Not my jam, and it was so expensive for our whole family to go and stay the night. I can't even think about the money we spent when we could have gone and done something. It's fine. Never again.
You live and you learn.
I know you do, but it sounds like I actually thought you were going to give me more resistance. It sounds like you understand this wasn't the best trip ever either.
No, I understand that it's challenging because when we grew up, we used to go to Cedar Point a lot. So we knew what to expect, like, but them, our kid, this is our first time. So it was like, they didn't know what to expect.
Well,
because the videos don't do it justice. When you actually go there, and you see these huge roller coasters and see like these drops, you're like, what the heck is like?
Yeah.
Our kids they didn't know what to expect.
Well, and even the newest ones, the Siren's Curse, Aaron keeps saying it was because the line was long. Aaron wouldn't do the Siren's Curse. Like he looked at it and he wouldn't do it. So like, it's just it was.
It's overwhelming.
Yeah, it was overwhelming.
And it overwhelming.
And it
was hot. It was also very hot.
Really hot, and it was a Saturday and a Sunday.
It's 90-degree in July, so that was also part of it. It's just very hot.
It was so hot, and so it was so hot, you guys. I've been in hot conditions before. Not as a perimenopausal woman that is overweight.
You're gonna keep throwing that. I'm gonna start doing a count.
The other thing is like I've been uncomfortable in my life. I was like yesterday as we were driving home, I could not wait. I had to like disassociate from the car ride because I felt so disgusting. And then we got home and I took a nice long shower. But yeah, Cedar Point is not gonna be a win in our family history. I don't think. At all. So, but we're home now and it's great. And so today is Julia's birthday. She turns 8.
Yes.
Are you laughing? Are you laughing at me, or are you laughing at like what a disaster of a trip that was?
No, I created this monster, but
you did. That's part of it.
it.
I know.
It's my own.
Listen, I know.
We just got to restart and just go Cedar Point every year. We have to go back to the start.
I think I would have liked maybe going with you, just you and I, where you don't have kids that you're in charge of and keeping their attitudes good and caring. Like I think maybe you and I would have had fun. And I did remember when we were there. I actually had some very sweet memories while I was there, of like going in junior high and high school and like having crushes on boys. Malia said to me, I don't know if I told you this, Malia was like, there seems to be a lot of couples here. And I'm like, this is the best place to go when you're dating. Like it is. It's so fun. So I get it, whatever. It's fine. It's never again. Never again, Cedar Point. I'm not trying to dissuade people from going though. If your family's different than ours, you're not like it. So. And
no,
I
think
that want to ride too. Like
what?
If kids want to ride.
Yeah, you have to have adventurous. You have to have kids who are somewhat adventurous. I think the first time you go, I think you have to expect that your kids are gonna be very afraid, and they're not gonna ride us. But they'll do a couple things. We got to figure out what not adventurous kids, which we didn't do that. So I think the first time they're not gonna be as excited. So like the next time, then they know what to expect. They're a little bit older. Then they may be adventurous. But if you got kids who just won't do anything, then that's not the place for you.
It's not fun. Okay, so today is Julia's birthday. Like I said, you're going to Boston tonight for 4 days.
Boston.
I shouldn't put that on the podcast.
They can come by and rob us. Well, I feel like our listeners are not crime ridden.
We might have to post this after you get home. I'm just kidding. You're going to Boston. My brother, who's a cop's, going to stay with us with his guns. So I'm safe.
And knives.
Yes, and knives. His plethora of guns. And yeah, anything else? We're on a 2-week countdown for our cruise, which it will be a totally different vacation.
Yeah, I think you'll have a much. I think you'll hear
You
a
think?
much friendlier, much nicer Mary on that one.
Well,
Her
the
review
other
of
thing
that
about
one.
it, and maybe I'll just that we can conclude the podcast with this. The other thing that sucked is I was in such a bad mood the whole time, and I like couldn't. I literally did do like this thing where I'm like, just fake it for the kids, like just act like. And I'm just too spoiled. I was like, I can't even pretend I'm enjoying this hot mess of a hot mess, hot messes. So yeah,
So good times.
good
Good.
times. Yeah. Anything else to share with the people?
No, I'm just been very busy. So this weekend will be the first one in a while you haven't. You've been traveling for the past 4 or 5 weeks,
Yeah, this will be
back
the
and forth,
first
back
weekend.
and
The
forth.
last 4 weekends I've been out of town, so I'm excited to have just a weekend at home. I'm very excited about a weekend at home before we go. And like you said at the beginning of the summer, you were like, "This summer's over before it's even begun," and I was like, "You're crazy," but like literally, the summer's over, so it's okay.
Yeah, He's been doing conditioning.
Yeah,
The boys have been
football.
doing
Yeah,
football conditioning.
I'm excited for them. I'm excited for football. It is very interesting to me, our oldest, how he's just become like a little athletic bodied man, like young man. It's very funny. He likes working hard, and I like him, so it's good.
Yeah.
Okay, till next time.
Next
Next week
Sunday
we'll record
will
on Sunday.
so next Sunday will be like
Mm-hmm.
uh cruise prep and getting ready
Yes,
for
sir.
it.
All right, new
And then
microphones. Let us know if it sounded better or worse or the
they'll be
same.
prepping for my birthday
Can't wait.
after
Big
today.
plans, the biggest plans ever. Do you
Yeah,
trust me?
we'll see.
Okay. Have a good week.
Bye.